Welcome back, everybody, to another day on Benzinga Live. It's Thursday. Hope everyone's portfolio is looking good. Let me know in the chat what y'all are watching and trading today. I'm joined today by a very special guest. Matt, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How you doing?
A little closer to the microphone. Don't be
All right,
scared
no
of it.
problem.
Not
No problem.
Not gonna bite you.
I avoid these kind of videos from time to time, but it's a special occasion. I'm gonna get a little crazy. We're gonna talk about stocks. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Rohan, with that, let's go ahead and start the show.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Benzinger Nation, jam-packed show today. Peloton of 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today. Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies. Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna. The best trade idea resource out there.
All right, everyone. So Matt, for those of our audience that don't know you, can you just give yourself a quick introduction and the trading extraordinaire that you are?
Well, not just trader. I'm a business development extraordinaire. But I focus on small cap stocks. I focus on a lot of things with catalysts. I find trends before they're trends, and I find the companies that are going to benefit the most. I was huge on the 5G bandwagon. Like right now, I'm huge into travel related stocks, but not necessarily in the United States, overseas, because of COVID kind of dying around there versus here in the United States. So I look for trends. I go and take large positions, and I do a lot of fundamental work. So most people think fundamentals are worthless, and they probably are the last couple of years. But for me, it's all about wealth preservation. What is my downside? How can I make money? And if this market does implode, and I believe it will at some point, what's going to be the best course of action?
So when you're looking at small cap stocks and doing, fundamental analysis, trying to find those good value plays, what are you, most looking at outside of, just a company's balance sheet and things like that?
Yep. So, I mean, I'm doing some research on a crypto miner right now. I'm not going to disclose it. I don't like to talk about stocks unless I fully understand them. But right now, all the crypto stocks, the Riots, the Maras, the miners are trading well above your tangible assets. This is a micro cap. I even call it a nano cap. And they're just kind of getting their foot. But they're trading at a fraction of the tangible assets. So what does that mean? You could liquidate all of their miners, their equipment, everything, and get paid out more than what is trading in the marketplace. And I think that is because no one knows they exist yet. So I'm doing the research, need to make sure it's, because it is it's a nano cap. It's a very, very small cap. So that is something I'm looking at. A lot of other times I'm looking at up to 5 billion in market cap, and there's a lot more research out there. So what I do, I have access to a lot of the sell side research that I'll read all day long. I mean, I have to make sure that if I'm putting in a 10 or 20% position and I have different portfolios. So I have a trading portfolio where I take bigger positions and trade in and out. But, that's more controlled than if you're going to put a very large position in and then, hold it for months and even years.
So when you say you're going to put like a 10, 20% allocation, you're talking about of your portfolio?
Correct. So I have different portfolios. I have like 4 or 5, but the main one, I made my career off of 5G. There was a stock, it's a company called Inseego, INSG, and it's trading about $1.50. And I knew based off of the speeds and the latency of 5G, it was going to take years and years. So I held that stock 5 years, went from $1.50 to 20. I sold my last shares around 17 and then got back involved in the stock, much lower, a little bit higher than here right now. And so I look for themes. I know the 5G sector better than anyone. So you could kind of ask me which 5G stocks. I mean, look at NVIDIA today. I mean, they crushed it. They're going to dominate in 5G, but it was pretty obvious that because of crypto, that their business is going to be absolutely on fire. So you got to find the trends and who are the benefactors, right? Like who within the 5G ecosystem, who's building the trenches for AT&T, Verizon, who's building the towers. So like I look at everything and who's going to benefit, and you have the high flyers everyone's talking about, but you can make money off of the smaller companies.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that sentiment, because a lot of people out there will preach diversification, diversification, diversification. It's like, look, if you're okay with, 10% return a year max, whatever, that's great. But like Warren Buffett says, Warren Buffett says it's easier for him to pick, 10, 20 great stocks instead of 100. So I think if you're really doing that due diligence, like you're talking about, Matt, it does make sense to try to consolidate your positions into those like big home run winners. Obviously, if you don't have the time to be doing that DD and going out there and researching a lot, then diversification is a great way to be safe and keep your portfolio pretty safe. But I'm more in your boat, Matt. I like to pick those winners. And if you watch this show, NVIDIA is a stock that I talk about all the time. It's like my all-time favorite stock. It's just an absolute monster. And what I've loved about NVIDIA for a long time is its long-term bull case is it's not just, graphic cards for gamers. It's not just crypto mining cards. I think every single transformative technology out there, NVIDIA will have its hands in, whether that's AI, self-driving, robotics, etc. And I think NVIDIA is far and away above all of its competitors. That's not to say AMD isn't a good company or can't be a great stock, but just if NVIDIA has the competitive advantage in that field, then I love it for that reason. And it looks like investors are loving it today too, up about 12% right now.
Boomski.
So yeah, just a crazy day for NVIDIA. The company reported earnings, they report earnings in 13 days on Wednesday, November 17th. So this move is coming off of a Wells Fargo upgrade their price target. And looks like we got a lot
of there's got to be other news.
This can't just be a price
for
target.
A large cap. And we'll get back to you. But then again, so you have to look at history too. NVIDIA took a big crap. I don't know if I can say that on the show, but whatever. I guess I can. When crypto fell apart. So what I always do is no one's going to kind of realize. So you have to say is, hey, let's say there's regulation risk. What are you could short the miners, right? The stocks are going to be down. You got to look at the offshoots so that you don't get crushed, right? Because you get dip buyers coming in. So you want to find the stocks that are benefiting from crypto that it's a part of their business. So will they hit numbers if there's regulation risk and crypto goes down to 40,000? I don't know. But I mean, those are the things that you have to look at. And so let's go back to my strategy. And first of all, I'm on Twitter. I'm MSUMAK, Spartan Trader. Obviously, I'm very excited. Michigan State just crushed University of Michigan. So there's a lot of U of M fans, including Luke Jacoby over there, Jason Raznick, and I got to give it to them, okay, because Michigan State's dominant. But so I'm MSU Mac on Twitter. If you have some questions, I'm very so even though I'm institutional, I really like to help the retail trader because I was in your shoes. I've gotten blasted. I've been in a stock, an all-in type of position that I lost everything on. So I've learned a lot through my 20 years trading. Actually, it's even longer now, 22. And just reach out to me on Twitter, MSUMAK, and I'll take care of you. Now let's go to my top stock right now in the microcap space. And we could all talk large caps. And to me, that's boring. I mean, I have large cap positions. I'm not going to do that on the show. I'm going to talk about small caps. That's what Benzinga started on. They got their first deal with TD based off of that. So that's a focus of mine. My largest position is a company called Acacia, ACTG. And the reason I'm involved and it's my largest position is because it's trading at a fraction of what you could liquidate. And they're partnered with, in my opinion, the #1 activist hedge fund in the world, Starboard. So whatever Starboard does, I usually back because they have the best risk returns. They're value guys though. So like all this growth, it's gonna, everyone's trading. I don't want to get blown up. I want to make money. If I'm putting a six-figure, even bigger position on, right? I don't want to lose that money, right? It's all about wealth preservation. So, I mean, one of their holdings just went public, and it's worth the entire market cap now. Now it's being held down because of these warrants that Starboard has, but because of those warrants, they're making acquisitions. They've made one acquisition in the last, I'd say, month, and they've offered to buy two companies, SPOK, SPOK, and CMTL, so they can transform from a book value company to an operating. And so what does that mean? If you're a book value company, people aren't interested in the stories per se. I am, because I can buy $10, $12 worth of assets for $5, right? But as soon as it transforms from a book value story to an operating, that's when growth matters. That's when value, that's when the business happens. So I think this is going to be, and I'm very patient. So if you're only patient with your IRA money, you could park Acacia in it, and you don't have to worry. Anywhere by 525, it's not going to drop below 520. If it does, it makes the warrants worthless, and the book value skyrockets. So those warrants expire August 2022. So anything below 525, ARBs will probably come in there and bid it up. So that's my largest position. We can talk about it later, but I figured there's some other questions that can come my way.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some questions about Acacia. I know you're more of a fundamental guy. You don't look at technicals, but just looking at the chart, it looks like it's been bouncing off of this support a number of times. So might not be a bad time to enter. I'm definitely going to add this to my watch list. And yeah, I mean, I think, finding these companies before they get a lot of attention, whether it's from retail investors or institutional investors, is really one of the ways you can see, those big returns in your portfolio that everyone's looking for. So definitely let us know if you have any questions in the chat about Acacia, or you can tweet at Matt at MSUMAK. Matt, let's go back to crypto real quick. We were talking about earlier when we were talking about the miners. So I'm going to pull up our handy dandy crypto heat map on benzinga.com/cryptocurrency. So looking at this, we can see Bitcoin and Ethereum are trading lower today, not by too much, about 2% for Bitcoin, 1.38% from Ethereum. Dogecoin down more than 3%. I don't know. It seems like Doge is becoming.
How much is SHIB down today?
That's a good question. Let's check in on SHIB. I was just going to say,
that's right there.
SHIB is down 30. Whoa, that can't be right.
That's right. And I'll tell you why. So this is why liquidity and everything matters. So he doesn't have to look it up. So last night on Twitter, everyone was talking about it. So there was one guy, and I don't know if this is true. It might be true, but this is what everyone says. $8,000 investment right at the beginning is worth like $5 billion. And he moved about 3 billion of it off of one wallet to 4 other wallets. So everyone's like, holy shit, he's going to freaking sell everything. And everyone's like, wants to get out before he unloads $3 billion and causes a cascade and stop losses. So the stock market is being held up by this insanity. Like there's no fundamentals. But for me, I don't care, because if the market takes that big crap, Acacia is not going to fall apart that much, and other stocks that I'm involved with, because of you have downside. What Warren Buffett does is he looks for companies that have limited downside risk. Same with me. And if they do go lower, I'll buy more. So here's another example. And I just picked up some shares today, and I'm probably going to load up even more. I just started, and maybe I got more filled. So I don't know. This might not be accurate, but before I came on the show, I bought a company. It's basically a closed-end fund that buys private companies that turn public. So the net asset value was $14 a share, right? So if they wanted to liquidate the fund, I would get $14 a share. It's trading at $4, okay? $4.15. So no one knows they exist. And this is where opportunity arises. It might take me a couple years, but it's not going much lower than $4 if you could liquidate the portfolio for $14. So it's like I go to Marshall's. I mean, no matter how much money I have, I don't like paying top dollar. My friends make fun of me. He's like, Matt, you're rich. Go buy some Gucci. Go buy this. Why would you do that? I don't want to be working the rest of my life. I want to retire, and I want to be able to sleep at night. So if I can buy $4 of assets for $14, I know my downside is limited. And if it goes down even more, I'll buy more. Okay. So that's the theory. And this ticker is SVVC, Sam Victor Charlie. It's very small, 28 million market cap. I don't care. I don't want to move the stock right now because but I'm telling you, this is, if you can look at the nano caps, you could look at the small caps, and that goes up to $5 billion in assets. So it's not just these really small ones. But when I feel protected buying it for 415, 416. I can't remember exactly what I paid. Yes, 416, and I got 5,300 shares. So I want to add a bunch more.
What was that ticker again?
Sam, Victor, Charlie.
First-hand technology value fund?
Correct. So this is a closed-end fund. So this isn't technically a stock. It's basically a publicly traded venture capital firm, and it has, no one knows they exist. But I mean, you go to their website, you say, hey, we can liquidate the assets for $14.33 a share, and they've had really good news from one of their companies. So I think it's an extra $1 a share. So the NAV is at least $15. I mean, you can't. I have to do some more work. I mean, I saw it today. I bought it instantaneously because I already knew it from years ago, and I don't really need to do a lot of work. When I see $14 is trading for $4, if that makes sense.
Got it. Well, yeah, we'll add that to the watch list. And yeah, like I said, anyone out there that's interested in these companies or Matt's strategy, please reach out to him on Twitter. That's at MSUMAK. Just real quick, so we've got Vivi Biotech Queen coming up. We will be talking about some biotechs. If you have any questions about different biotechs, Vivi is your lady. She will be here to explain what's going on in the biotech world. A couple other news headlines. So we already talked about NVIDIA just absolutely ripping today. We saw the price target upgrade, and it looks like NVIDIA is getting a lot of interest on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, but I don't know if that's enough to move this mega cap stock this much. So maybe it's just institutional buyers coming in. I'm not sure. We'll do some more research and get the exact headline on why NVIDIA it's up. Let's see.
Are you sure earnings was 3 weeks? I heard, did they pre-release today? There had to have been something. Oh, Corvo reported. Okay. Another 5G stock. I mean, I know Corvo, that Skyworks is the biggest competitor to Corvo, just monster because the 5G build out. So, and I could back up there. So your phone speeds will probably be 40 download. With true 5G, you're going to get 1,000. It's going to be so fast, so quick. You're never going to get that lag. And then there's so many business use cases. With 4G, we had Uber, right? So with faster speeds and lower latency, I mean, and redundancies, your internet. So like when your Comcast goes out, everyone's going to want a 5G backup through SD-WAN. And so even when your internet goes out, and I know companies go crazy, you're going to have this 5G backup. And so a lot of companies and enterprises are investing. I mean, Inseego, they reported, what's that trading at today? I know it was down in the pre-market. It's my 5G play amongst many others, but
see how Inseego's doing.
It could be down, it could be up. If it's down, I'd be buying it. If it's up, depending on what it's up, I'd be buying it. What's it doing?
I'm not getting let's see. Inseego is down 3.98% today, so down about 4%. Looking at the chart here, we can see that
I like to buy them when they're down. So it hit 20. This was a Kramer favorite as the 5G play, and it still is. They just made an announcement that they're partnering with T-Mobile on all their enterprise. I mean, T-Mobile is dominating in 5G better than Verizon and AT&T because they invested in low band. Okay, and so that was a big announcement that'll drive benefits to Inseego. So I look long term. So in the earnings conference call, they said next year 25% revenue growth, right? Because that's when 5G starts taking off, when all the enterprises. So you have to buy the stock when nobody knows what's going on. And so that's something I'll be adding to my position. I got lots of ideas. You reach out to me, we can talk. It doesn't have to be about specific stocks. It could be about options trading. And so like I'm a catalyst trader too. So this is something that's different. I'll find something, like I'll know every catalyst, and it takes work to make money, guys. You shouldn't just follow guys on Reddit and chase the memes. To me, that pisses me off, to be honest. So I do work. I find out upcoming catalysts. I knew Inseego was reporting earnings. I didn't want to take the risk. So actually for that position, I sold my options yesterday. I made money. I made a quick 60%. Because I knew, like, okay, the 5G names are going to start to get hot, but I didn't want to take the earnings risk. I took it off. And now that it's down, I'll probably buy some longer dated options because I know February. Okay, so let's go back. It's all about catalysts. The biggest 5G event of the year is in February. It's called Mobile World Congress. Inseego and Qorvo and NVIDIA, they'll make an insane amount of announcements. And it's not priced. The market makers don't figure stuff like this out. So if you can find an event like in February, you load up on the options when they're cheap. So in an ideal world, you'll wait till January when they're not paying attention, and then you'll buy them way out of the money. And sorry, I'm not looking, I'm talking. I'm rolling, man.
Our producer Spencer wants you to look at the camera so people can see your pretty face.
Sorry, I'm talking. I'm not used to going on TV. I'm a trader. I don't know. So I'll be looking, but so that's what I do. I look at Catalyst, Mobile World Congress. I'll load up Inseego options. I'll probably load up Qorvo. You know, let's say Qualcomm takes a shit. I mean, it's all about timing. It's all about risk reward, and it's all about volatility.
Got it. All right. Well, Matt Kolb, thank you for joining us today. Like I said, reach out to him. I'm going to throw his Twitter on the screen.
One thing I got to say before I leave, Twitter is powerful. I actually cold reached out to Vivi, your next guest. I had no idea she was going to be on, and we've built a relationship. So, I mean, use Twitter, get smart first before you do that. And I have so many relationships and have made a ton of money from just cold reaching out on Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. I'm a machine. The Benzinga guys know it.
I concur. I actually cold reached out to a guy named Jason Raznick, and that's why I'm sitting here right now on Twitter.
I met Jason Raznick in an airport. He was so insane. I had to get a part of his company 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a great story for another time. Next time, Matt, when we get you on, we'll have to hear that story in its entirety. Vivi, are you ready for us? We're going to bring on Vivi, Biotech Queen. We will be talking some biotech. If you got any tickers you're looking at, drop them in the chat. We'll get to them. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the Biotech Queen.
What do you think?
Vivi, how's it going today?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Yes. I have a big microphone now.
Oh, really? There you go.
Yeah, I stole my son. Remember, I used to have the gaming headphones, and this is his Twitch microphone, and I just.
Oh, your son's streaming on Twitch. What does he play mostly?
Oh, he likes he Minecraft on Twitch. It kind of came back, but now he's turning 16 soon, and I haven't seen him touch his computer in the last 5 months. He's out into girls now. I think he got smart.
About that age.
Whatever
happened with the bike saga? Didn't he get your bike stolen or something?
Yes, I did, and then I took the money, the $400, and I invested. So I have like 2,000. I'm growing the little account, but I'm still don't let him use my second bike. I told him you have to pay for one. So he has a job right now, but they're not giving him a lot of shifts. So hopefully soon he'll have enough money to buy his own car, actually, right?
Well, Vivi, hold on. And this is Spencer. Shouldn't he just follow your picks and then he could just have enough money that way?
Oh my God, I told him he used to do coding. He should just do NFTs for Christ's sake. But he has no interest.
He'd be a millionaire.
You can force people to have the same passions as you. I wanted to kind of do like a custodial account to each kid and give 500 each for Christmas and say, have at it. Go and invest and see who has the most money in 5 years. So I want to do a challenge with them.
You should do that. You should do that. All right, Vivi, it's been too long. I keep trying to zoom in. It keeps cutting me off. Sorry, Rohan. Vivi, it's been too long since we've had you on. Update us. Where do we stand on some of our old favorites?
Yes, for sure. First of all, I just wanted to tell you guys that I just launched my own channel. If you guys search is the Bio Queen, and I'm gonna have a lot of the extensive DD. So I think this would be a good avenue. I'm not gonna go anywhere just to kind of answer questions. But if you guys want to really detailed DD into my picks, right now I have a Progenity there, I have a Gridstone, and I have a Biocrest. So that would be the best avenue because it's gonna be really hard for me to go over, with a short amount of time, go over why I'm pretty bullish on these picks. But you guys can follow me on my channel and subscribe so I can keep it afloat and keep doing the videos. So wanted to tell you guys, if you guys can pull the chart on BCRX, man, this is my
Yeah.
biggest pick, and we got hammered.
Yeah, I'm getting the chart up right now. Give me 5 seconds to get that open.
Sure.
So, yeah, BCRX. It's been a while because I look at it, and mostly when you and I talk. So it's been a while. So what is going on right now?
So, earnings, they wanted this ridiculous amount of they're expecting like 70 million. We got 38 million in sales. And the concern here is they had a 18 million, I think around $20 million burn rate. So the concern is future offerings, right? How they're going to raise money to fund their studies. So obviously, even if you had an offering, so let's assume when it was before earnings was $15, if you got an offering, you got somebody to come in at 14, you wouldn't have that much of a haircut, right? So it's completely unjustified. Some of the price targets came is still reiterated a price target of a $24. We're on track to a blockbuster drug. Just Orladeyo alone, project numbers, we're projecting without any offerings, any dilution, that we're still gonna see a $60 a share in the future. So this is completely unjustified. I went ahead today and bought tons of calls.
How far out? How far out?
I did for 95 cents. I got $14 January calls, and I did some leaps too. So I did a little bit out of the money, but it's only $12 right now. So I hope we have more upgrades, and when people figure it out. So you pretty much nothing has changed fundamentally, right? I'm a more of a fundamental type of an investor and trader. So I told you guys just to have an idea, the magnitude of this pipeline. PNH is Alexion got bought out by AstraZeneca just because of PNH alone. PNH alone was bringing 70% of the revenue of Alexion. Alexion got bought out by 39 billion, which would have put BCRX shares today at $250. So 230. So think about this. What they have right now, they had this drug, and then they Solaris. Now they made all the switch to Ultomoris because Solaris has a issue with the MGen and the patent. So just so you guys have a little bit idea of how the magnitude of this factor D pipeline is. They have a product right now that is injection, it's an infusion, right? And they say, infusion for every 8 weeks.
Wait, real fast. Which ticker are we on?
We're talking. Just stay on BCRX. I'm talking.
Okay,
about
we're still there. We're still there. I'm just making sure everyone. Okay, we're still there.
Talking about the competition. Alexion got bought out by AstraZeneca for 39 billion, all solely because of the factor D pipeline. So this factor D pipeline is an infusion every 8 weeks, and some of the side effects is the patients still have to go through transfusion. So until today, there's nothing out there, and what we look in the data for BCRX. Patients are still on today taking BID twice a day orally, don't have to go through any transfusion. So imagine having a factor D pipeline that is all oral. And that's what we're going to bring to the table. So patients, even patients' testimony said there's nothing else bad out there. Yes, we're going to have to deal with infusion. We're going to have to deal with transfusions. But be able to have a drug that you take it every day orally and never have to do transfusion, it's huge. So it increases the hemoglobin level, so you don't have to have transfusion, where Alexion drug doesn't. So that's it. So fundamentally, I think this is a great opportunity until we see a bottom. I don't know what the bottom is. So I would look for a reversal before you add it back, but I still hold through that. In 3 or 4 years, this will be $100 stock. I believe that this company, this pipeline is worth billions, and nothing has changed here. I actually bought more shares today because, again, I don't care about the bottom. So if I lose $1 a share tomorrow, I'm holding this long. And and some of the day traders or the swing traders will be like, why would you hold long? For me, it's always having like a savings account. I day trade in a swing trade, but I put all my earnings into companies that fundamentally I believe in as my savings account. So I'm not putting all my assets at risk by trading everything that I have in a bank, which doesn't make any sense. So I'm sure a lot of traders do have a long-term account as well, but this is my long-term account. So we got that beating. It's completely unjustified. And another point is that the analysts were just saying that we start seeing cicadas. Cicadas competition is also injectable from Orladeo. We saw a decline of 2.2%. Year after year decline. So just to show you that we are, taking share of a market of the competition. So Orladeo is on track, and we're still going to be a very profitable company. But people don't like that they're burning through cash too fast. But it's unjustified.
That seemed to be the kicker, right? Because their earnings per share came in well below the street estimate. That seemed to be the kicker.
Yes,
So.
and then after having the cash burn, but again, they had unrealistic numbers, but it's on track to get there, but it's just a little slower. So I'm still a firm believer here. And then KMPH, we have earnings November 10th. So I think I told you guys
this one is just so quiet. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see here.
So remember, I give you guys at a $7. Even Jason was teasing. He's like, "Wait a minute, did I just buy a really, really low market cap company? I can't believe that you got me into." But at the approval got to $16, $17. And and one of my YouTube channels, I have a video explaining how to trade in and out small biotechs, because they have a no product, right? And then when they have a product and approval, if you can see here, went up all the way to $17. But until they can prove that they can do a successful launch, you're gonna see the stock not moving at all. So I'm curious. I reduced my position tremendously when the approval came, because that's how I operate. And then if I see that they actually are successful launching the drug, because it doesn't matter if you have a good product and you don't have a good team behind it, right? So I'm curious to see what the earnings is going to be for me to add more to my position, because
but you've got a fraction of your position.
I got a fraction, but it's small. It's small fraction. I don't like to leave the game. One thing I learned after Fate went from $3 to $80 a share is that if I believe in a company but it's really early stages, I save some now. I'm like, I leave 1,000 shares as my set and forget account, because that can be $80 a share one day. Yeah, look at Fate. What opportunity here, because all these bios have taken a beating, lately since February, the high. But look at that. It used to be $80 a share. Even higher. What was that?
That looks like the high was 108, 121.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. Look at that. This is an upside of 50% from here. There's a lot of the biotechs right now. If you guys wanted to fill your portfolio with biotechs and see an 100% returns, Fate is a good example. Nothing has changed fundamentally. It's an amazing company. So
why is it gone from 121 to 59?
I haven't followed Fate as much, but I'll give you an example. Look what happened to Sava. Such a ripoff to investors. A guy came in and accused Sava of having doctored the data when it came to an FDA, and investors lost millions. Like, I saw an investor on Yahoo boards lost 700,000 because he bought on a high of 120, and now is going off today because after FDA reviewed the data, has now revealed that nothing has been doctored. So completely so that's the thing, is it's biotech is not for the faint of the heart, and that's why a lot of people don't like to trade biotechs, because you never know, and earnings you can go up or down. It doesn't have it fundamentally doesn't have a reasoning behind why people sell and buy. Like, I've seen Gilead have an amazing earnings, and then the guidance is not as good as everyone expect, and boom, the stock falls 20%. So, but just to show you, I haven't followed Fate. But for example, I'll put another one, ALNY, Alnylam Pharma. The CEO stepped down, and they didn't beat earnings, but look at the upside potential. What is it today? Wow, it went up again. Oh my God. The earnings was like 5 days ago. It lost $50 a share. It was, I think, 200 and went down all the way to 150, and now it's already back to 180. Because what?
Yeah.
Because
So with this, I would say, what was the pre-earnings close? Looks like it was 191. We went down to a low of 154. So I'm just curious to figure out what the
yeah, so
50%.
they miss earnings, but not a huge fraction, and the CEO stepped down. Boom. That's your opportunity. It's almost like you have to put these companies on a watch list, because fundamentally the pipeline of this company is amazing. It's rare diseases, and they are an amazing company. So it's, if the analysts still have a $220 price target there, so you gotta almost have to take like the bottom place. Biotech is like this: you pick up the bottom place, it's almost guaranteed to make money. But you don't want
If you
to hold
have
the term.
if you have the stomach for high risk, there are some questions for you in the chat,
Yeah.
VV. I would like to get to. Who asked if about this one? It was Maddie Ice, or Maddie, no, Maddie G. Maddie G. Hey, Queen, have you heard of Age X? I don't know if the ticker is literally AGEX. Let's find out. I don't.
AGX? No, but
Yeah, it's well, the ticker is Age. AGE is your ticker here.
oh no, I
This is
never heard of
this is an 81-cent stock. So I don't know if you've heard of that. It's down almost 100% this year.
Wow.
So
Okay, no, I mean, like, again, I told you guys, sometimes it's the bottom feeders, right? Like the really beaten down stock. You can
yeah.
play a catalyst. So I'll take a look, and I'll let you guys know next week for sure.
What about Teva? They just reported like yesterday. And
I don't follow Teva that closely, to
you
be
don't follow
honest with
Teva.
you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and the chart. Yeah, it's. We used to talk about Teva. Let me pull up like a long-term chart of Teva, because this is one of the stocks when I joined Benzinga, we talked about Teva a lot.
Wow, what happened?
This is in like
Jeez.
2000, late 2015, early 2016. And it's just been on a steady downtrend since then.
That's
So
look at this management. I mean, that should say a lot. How can you let the stock go down to 914? So that's another thing, guys. You can have a really, so I'll give you a good example. I'm not investing in, but if you can put an ESPR right now, they just went through layoffs, and I know the people that work there.
okay, 1 second. ESPR. Okay, let's go with daily.
So Manage has brought that stock all the way down to $7 a share. They say that because they launched the product during COVID, but let me tell you guys, my friend was a rep there that got laid off. She said that they were taking a lot of shares of a Repatha, which is an Amgen injectable for cholesterol that has an amazing reduction of cholesterol levels. And this company has an oral drug, so there's a lot of talk that they might come on a hostile takeover, but the management's awful. The CEO has run down the company. So a lot of times you have a good product, but if you don't have a good management, it's not going to be a good combo. I lost $7,000 at SGYP, which had a better product than what they have now for IBS, but the management was so bad, and they said no to so many offers for buyout that the company got run down to the floor, went bankrupt, and then Procter & Gamble bought them for pennies. So you have to have a combination of both. That's why doing biotech, it's so dangerous. But I want to put another one in that I think you guys will really like, PROG. I have that on my channel, but they just appointed it's such a small world. They just appoint Jill Howe, and Jill Howe went to work at a Somaxon with my best friend. So Somaxon got bought out. It was a company that got bought out. So this woman her career has taken off, and she just joined the board of a directors of this company. I think this company is a monster in the making. They have a technology that can turn Humira, which is one of the biggest injectables in the history of a pharma, a $10 billion company, a $10 billion drug, into oral form. And they have this technology also that it doesn't go into your bloodstream as much as a regular drug. So one of drugs from Pfizer, goes straight into the column, leaving less toxicity, so less side effects. So if you don't have drugs in your bloodstream, there's less side effect because less toxicity. And they found their activity of the drug is 25 times more potent than the Pfizer drug itself. So I see this company really being bought out by other pharmas because of the technology, the delivery system from that drug, the delivery system that they have that takes less toxicity and doesn't go into your bloodstream. So they have earnings next week. That would be my only concern. Earnings in biotech when they don't have a product can be iffy, or unless they give us some updates. That would be my main concern about this company. But I'm a big investor here. I believe this company has a bright future. So if you guys are more interested in learning, just go to my channel. I have a really good DD on this company. So
Noel Vick is asking, do you still like Checkpoint, CKPT?
Yeah. So Checkpoint, I had 10,000 shares. I reduced my shares down to 3,000 shares because that's what I'm willing to lose. I bought it at 280, so I'm willing to lose 10 grand to make 40 grand. I believe I alerted that it's $2.80 below what the investors bought. Just so you guys have an idea, they unblind. If I'm not correct, I think 36 patients out of the 71, and they're gonna blind the other 41. And when I did my calculations to have an overall response, because they needed to have a 35% at the end, a 36% overall response rate, and we only needed 6 patients out of the next, I think 41 patients or 36 to respond to have these results of a 36% overall response rate. And the preliminary data has seen better results, better overall survival rate than Keytruda, which is a blockbuster. So I'm holding through data, guys, because I like my odds, extra 6 patients out of 36 patients. So, but I didn't want to hold the whole thing because I learned in this business, you don't invest more than you can lose. And I lost like 50 grand with the ARDX. They had a full sales force. They had a really good product and FDA and then the act. So now if I do believe in a company and I want to do for data release or for PDUFA, I'm not holding my whole position. So I had 10,000 shares and I scale out too soon. I scale out at like a 350, but the data is supposed to come out in December because we did the calculations. The final reading will be November, and by December they probably release the results. So I'm really excited about this one.
A couple more here from the chat here, Vivi. What about these are known Bingo and CRISPR? We've talked about those on.
I think CRISPR has a great potential, a great company to hold long term. Bingo, I have on my set and forget. I have 1,000 shares there that I honestly don't even look at what kind of updates they have, because genomic testing is the future. So I believe Bingo has a lot of potential, but because I don't want it to have to be looking every single quarter what's going on with the company, I bought 1,000 shares at $5 and I let it sit there. So hopefully, $50 a share one day.
What do you think of this one? This is Ocugen. This is the high flying COVID vaccine stock.
So Ocugen, I bought at 880. I sold it at 16 on the news. It's always sell the news until they can see. So it's not approved in the United States. It's approved in the other countries, and they don't have a lot of money, right? So I don't know how they're going to position themselves financially. So it took a dive because they haven't produced sales, right? What is the sales going to look like? So I like the company. I think I like the alternative of vaccines from mRNAs. A lot of people don't want to take mRNAs. They believe that alters your DNA. And the funny thing is, there was a slide on BCRX talking about PNH. Somebody acquired PNH on a vaccine on mRNA, even though it is the side effects don't, the benefits outweigh the risks. there's been side effects on vaccines, and I feel like Ocugen has a great alternative because it's in a non-mRNA vaccine.
Okay, let's get to a couple more here, and then we'll let Vivi go, and we will have her back every Thursday in this hour time slot. So if you missed her, you can always check out her channel or just come back next week when we have her. Let me make sure there's no more. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat.
Yeah,
I
sure.
know, I'm not sure why my charts are doing that. Someone asked about Array earlier. I think I remember that one.
ARRY.
Yeah, ARRY. Thank you.
Oh, I like the company. It's I remember buying them and selling. I don't remember what's behind. It's been a long time. But I like the company. Somebody was asking here, CTIC. I do. I bought shares for the run up for CTIC. I'll leave you some for approval, but I got some shares of CTIC. I think they have a really good chance of getting approved because there's nothing out there for that indication. There's some concerns about the side effect profile, but I guess FDA had a meeting with them and an approved and accelerated approval with no AdCom meetings. And a sales force has been built. So everything points out to approval, but risky business, right? We've seen over and over SESN, for me, was a slam dunk and didn't get approved. So FDA has been really shady lately. So, but CTIC is only November 4th. So I think you can get a 10% gains if you buy today and sell in 2 weeks, 2 weeks prior to FDA approval. I think you still can make some money here for sure.
All right. Vivi, the bio queen, and her Twitter handle is you're at biotech_SD.
And then the YouTube is the same. It's just if you type the bio queen, I'm the first one to come up. So hopefully you guys like it, my DD videos.
All right, Vivi, we'll talk to you again next week. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. It was good to see you
all.
all.
Right. Good to have you back. Hey, let's do before we bring on our next guest, let's do a quick crypto update. AB, can you please bring up our heat map on benzinga.com/crypto? While you do that, I will do this. No, wait, that. I heard you all talking about Shiba and Dogecoin earlier, but I confess I've not looked at any of the majors really all day. So how are we looking here?
Yeah, so when Matt was on, we talked about a few of these names. Bitcoin and Ethereum obviously in the red, although making up some ground from last time we checked. Ethereum now down less than 1%. Shiba Inu last time we checked was down about 30%. Now it's down only 22%.
Oh.
Only 22%, Spencer.
Only 22%.
As far as the cryptos that are in the green today, we have Solana, which of course is one of the favorite quote unquote clean energy or green cryptos. Cardano is down about 3.5%. VeChain up almost 10%. So yeah, mixed bag for cryptos today, Spencer. How can I get some free Bitcoin?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. All you have to do is go to the Voyager app. Hey, look, it's on the screen right there. Use the offer code ZING, ZING. When you sign up, fund your account $100 and make your first trade. They'll give you $50 in Bitcoin for free. My closing thoughts on Shiba Inu coin and Squid Game coin or token, whatever it's called, and all those other things is you get what you pay for, right? You know what you're buying when you buy these things. You're buying a shit coin that's also a probable rug pull. And I saw that Squid Game coin was ripping again this morning. People know it's a rug pull and they don't care.
I agree, Spencer. I think if you're going to get into some of these altcoins or shit coins, as you call them, know what they are. If you're one of those guys that's saying, or girls that's saying, oh, Shiba Inu is the future of finance, no, just stop right there. It's not the future of money. Can you make a few bucks on it?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Can you invest in one of these coins and maybe make a couple 100%? Yeah. but that's what it is. You know, I think that argument can only stand for, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin, really, as like these can really be the future of having an impact on the future of currency. So I don't mind trading these smaller coins. Just know what they are.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. And to everyone in the chat, Happy's telling, you know, not enough fathers telling their kids, you know, there's chances of getting rich or slim to none. But you see it on Twitter every day, so I understand the temptation. I really do.
So Hex is asking whatever happened to Benzinga Zinc coin.
Great question.
So Zinc coin, you know, we still have to finalize plans for it, but right now, from what I understand, the plan will be to use Zinc coin as kind of a reward system for Benzinga. So if you want to use Zinc coin to get a discount on Benzinga Pro or some swag, you know, whatever it is, then you know, that's right now the tentative plan. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on Zinc coin.
I'm going to put the link in the chat. Yeah, it's really going to be used as a reward system, as a discount system, as an engagement tool. I'm putting the link for Zinc coin in the chat right
Spencer,
now.
you see, while we're on the topic of crypto, before we get to our next guest, which is Options Mike, yesterday Mark Cuban tweeted a report or headline that said like 4% of people have quit their jobs because of the gains they have made in crypto.
That I can already tell without having, I did not see that, but I can already tell by the way you said that this was some financial services company that surveyed 1,000 people, and that was the result of their survey. I'm calling BS.
I agree. I mean, 4% is a huge number of people.
There is no way. Maybe here we
go.
Maybe the 40 people out of the 1,000 that they surveyed, right? Maybe that's real, but there's no way that you can extrapolate that to the rest of
here's the
great
article report that comes from civicscience.com, which I've never even heard of.
That's okay. We don't hate you, Civic Science. We just don't know you.
We can see right here. Have you or someone you know quit your job at some point over the last year due to financial freedom earned by investing in cryptocurrency? Yes, I know someone that has 7%, 4%. Yes, I have. 6,741 responses. So not very representative of, you know, I would need to see a little bit of a bigger sample size.
It still seems high. Oh, wait, how many responses did you say?
6,700.
It still seems too high to me, but that could be wrong. It just seems high. 11% of people either themselves or know someone who has quit their job because of gains in crypto.
Yeah, and I think it made more headlines once Mark Cuban tweeted it, just because he's got that name recognition. He said, wow, 4% of the people in the USA. I don't know if that's legit. Either way,
this is too easy. It's too convenient. Okay, it's too convenient of a reason why. That's why there's a labor
shortage. How long until mainstream media starts talking about when they're talking about labor shortages, they throw that out there as a reason? You know, you've got the vaccine mandates, you've got the unemployment. And now you've got people quitting because of crypto gains.
It's not just crypto. There's a stock market too, right? I mean, there are people out there that have made amazing gains in investing and trading in the last year and a half, basically since the start of COVID, which is amazing for them. I'm not here to poo-poo that. Congratulations. You know, don't spend it all in one place, but that is but one of a dozen or more reasons why we are experiencing a labor shortage. It's not as simple as saying, oh, everyone's making bank off crypto, that's why they're not working. Just like you couldn't blame Zillow for the housing market being hot. You can't blame crypto for the.
It's more fun too, though.
Yeah, you're right. It is more fun, but it's also not accurate.
All right, who out there watching right now likes to trade options or wants to learn more about trading options? I know I do.
You love to trade options, baby.
I do love to trade options. I actually don't have any open options right now. It makes me feel
naked,
less than whole. I was gonna say less than whole, but naked works as well. So our next guest, Options Mike, is an expert when it comes to not just trading options, but different option strategies as well.
And we can do some. Can we do some naked options? No,
I don't know. Maybe Luke. We can get Luke, and we'll YOLO some options.
Oh boy, let's get Options Mike on here. Here we go. Hey, there he is.
Hey,
Options
guys.
Mike. What up?
No, no naked options. No, don't
Mike,
do that.
Have you made it, Mike? Have you made enough money off crypto to quit your day job?
I've made no money off of crypto.
Hey, at least he's honest.
I'm probably the only person who hasn't traded crypto. Actually, I lie. I have $5, which I think is worth about $8 now of Bitcoin that I got for free.
There you go.
It's a nice return.
There you go. Yeah, at 5 to 8, that's what 30%,
Yeah.
40%.
It's more than that.
There you go.
All right, Mike, let us know what's on your watch list right now. What are you watching? We'll go ahead and pull up some charts on Benzinga Pro. If you want to pull up your own charts, feel more than free.
Whatever is easier. I mean, I could pull it up real quick if you want. You tell me.
Yeah.
All right. So, up here, it's getting a little bit tougher here on, what we want to be in and where you want to be looking at here as this market's starting to get a little bit carried away from itself. So let's just start with NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is just a great example of what's been going on in this market. Did the screen come up? No,
yes. Hold on. Let me. I was searching for a ticker, and I'll be on. No, it did not come up yet.
Let's try this again. Okay, it's not working for some reason.
Not working.
No. Oh, pull up NVIDIA then, if you guys don't mind.
NVIDIA. Oh, as if we don't talk about that stock enough. All right, NVIDIA. Chart up. It's okay. Chart up in Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro up on the screen. Go.
Right. Smothered in flow all week long. I mean, this is what you got to love about this name. Every day they've been coming in here. It's been gapping up, smothered in call buying. This morning, right on the open, they hit the weekly 275s. Within 5 minutes, there's 10,000 of them traded. Look at that move today. Gap up. The one thing I would tell everybody here is make sure you look left and see that this stock came from 115 in about 7 months to almost just missed 300 today. And it's very extended here. And that's the one thing you got to worry about a little bit here. This market seems to like to buy high, then buy more higher. Well, we'll just keep buying higher because this market never comes in. And I do think this market's going a lot higher. So please do not misunderstand me that I am at all bearish. But I think you have to start being careful with a name like NVIDIA here, which is just run. And to me, I look at a candle like this, and this is a candle that I don't want to be participating in at the end of this year. It's just too far. It's vertical here. And we have earnings in 2 weeks. But let's switch to a name that I have been trading a lot more. That is AMD.
Oh, more affordable version of NVIDIA.
Yep. Well, first of all, on AMD, we already had earnings, and they were fabulous, right? They blew out earnings on this. And as we've been sitting here for the last half an hour or so, they're piling into the December 145 calls. Almost 13,000 of them came in the last half hour. And while it's getting a little extended here, they've been blowing it out. I mean, every quarter they come in, they just blow it out. And I love this chart. This is another one I want to buy on any dip. I was holding it for about a month. I sold it after making $20 on my shares. And now I'd love to get back into this here at some point here. I've been trading in and out of it, day trading it. But look at this move. I mean, this is just awesome. Cannot.
You're still in it? You're still in it, just to clarify?
Nope, I am out of it.
Okay.
I sold out the last of it just before earnings because I was up $20 on my shares. Why hold it at that point? The risk was.
And then you would take it again on a pullback, right?
Yeah. If I can get a dip to the 8-day or the market wanted to cool off, I'd be really happy to try that.
Awesome.
Right.
What else you got for us?
What else we've been seeing on here? Here was one of the more interesting ones that just came in a little while ago. TQQQ is the triple leveraged ETN for the.
Let's go.
The
Now
Qs.
we're talking.
Right.
Leverage.
Boy.
Yeah. So
yeah.
a little while ago, and I trade this with stock all the time. This is one of my go-tos. When I'm not sure what I want, and tech's moving, I'll grab this. But earlier today, just a little while ago, the weekly 166, almost 3,500 of them came in. We haven't seen an order like that I'm going to go back to the pandemics. The last time I saw an order like that come into this, which was just really interesting to me that somebody's saying to expect some gains tomorrow, maybe some pullback here. And it wasn't a cheap bet. So that's why it kind of stood out.
How liquid are the options in TQQQ? I imagine they're pretty thick because it is a trading instrument, right?
They are pretty liquid. The one thing I would say, by the way, it was almost a $450,000 order.
Oh.
They can be a little wide, and that's because the Qs tend to be more liquid. If I'm going to short or use options, I would rather use options on the QQQs and not the TQQQ. You're trading derivative of a derivative at that point, and rather stick with the real thing. More liquid, and let's face it, the Qs up here, it moves just as well.
Yeah, this is a trading instrument for everyone who looks at this chart and sees it going straight up. That is not the point. here. The point is not to buy this thing in May of last year and sell it in
this is a day
October of
trading
this year.
vehicle. This is designed for day trading. It's not designed to be sitting in and holding it long term.
Yes, exactly. All right, but hey, I dig it. If it works for you and you trade it and you know how leverage works, then great. That's exactly what it's for. Let's look at some things that maybe haven't worked out for you. Have anything that you've taken a licking on here recently?
Yeah, I got my butt kicked earlier this week on BITO.
Oh, interesting. Tell me about this one, because I would love to. I'm very interested in seeing how people are trading this. I mean, I can see what the chart says, obviously, but you know, obviously it's a newer ETF. It's only been out for a couple of weeks. There's not really much data to go off of. It trades with Bitcoin more or less. How did you approach this, and what happened?
So the first thing I'll tell you, it moves very liquid, and if you watch the Bitcoin futures, it'll move pretty much tick for tick with it, which is what you're looking for.
That's good.
Right? But what you have to realize is it doesn't trade Bitcoin. It doesn't own any Bitcoin. It just owns futures contracts. So, you know, it's going to reconcile after the weekend, after Friday night when the market closes until it reopens. It's not going to be moving with it. It's going to reconcile. It's liquid.
Okay.
The bid ask is pretty tight on it. It has options. Just realize you're trading derivative of a derivative of a derivative when you're trading this thing with options, because you're not trading the futures. You know, futures contracts are trading futures contracts on Bitcoin, and then you're trading an ETF that is a derivative of the futures, and then you're trading options on it. But they are fairly liquid. That's the good news. The bad news is I tried to play a breakout on Bitcoin the other day, and Bitcoin came smashing back into my face as it tried to go. And I've had a line on this thing sitting roughly on Bitcoin at around 63,900, where it has to get above. You can see, if you look at the chart on Bitcoin, you'll see there's a bunch of on the futures contracts, a bunch of wicks that have hit that spot. And on Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday it tried to go, and I decided to jump on board and chased it into it. And as soon as I got in, I instantly had regret, and it yanked right back in my face.
All right, so this is a very simple situation. You were really just trading Bitcoin, using this as your Bitcoin play,
right?
But it's good to see that, like, it's you know, it's good to hear you say that it trades tick for tick. There was some concern when this thing first opened, you know, 2 or 3 days later, there was some concern that it was getting so large, it was taking in so many assets that they were already reaching capacity for the amount of front month futures contracts that they were allowed to own, as stated in the in the fund's prospectus, and they were having to maybe go out further on the futures curve, which would have created a separation, a sort of contango effect, if you will, in the BITO, and it would have separated from the actual Bitcoin futures, but that appears to have not happened. Or in this case, if you say it tracks, then it tracks, and you know.
Again, to me, and I've been in and out of it a couple times, it tracks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. That's great. That's great.
And I know a lot of people are looking for exposure to Bitcoin instead of having to trade futures or own coins themselves, especially in their retirement funds. And this kind of fits the build. And, you know, this is probably going to be the first of several of them that are going to be approved shortly. Once you've let one in, you're going to let more in. I do wonder if one of them is actually going to hold some of these cryptocurrencies instead of just trading the futures on it.
What else? Let's see. And by the way, if you have a question, if you have a ticker from Mike, drop it in the chat. We'll get Mike's thoughts on this. We mentioned at the top here, Mike, that AB currently has no active YOLO options positions. Maybe we can fix that here today.
I would love to.
You know, part of the thing here right now is that you kind of have to be a little careful chasing into this market up here. And by that, I don't mean long term. I mean short term. We're getting a little hot, a little extended. We've run a ton.
So you're saying I should buy SPY puts?
Extended doesn't mean we have to sell. And I think that's what everybody always confuses when you say something like this. They think, well, we're extended, we have to sell off. Remember last week, we went sideways all week long before we started to break out. And that's all you need to do to cool off. Let the moving average catch up. Let things cool off, right? The 8 days and start catching up. And let the oscillators cool off. And they can do rotation. And if you look what's going on, look at the banks right now. The banks have had a couple days sell off in them, especially banks like Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. So they could come in and they could say, hey, let's rotate around. We've been running the same names. We've run Tesla to the moon, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google to the moon, right? These big NVIDIA, AMD, these big cap tech names which have been holding the market up. What if they decide to rotate out? The banks are sitting here saying, we're ready to go. We're nice and cool, right? So they don't have to sell. They can just rotate to different sectors. And that's a lot of times what we see when we get a market this hot.
Yeah, the rotation is always something you want to have on your radar. It's always because I'm always looking at the overall market, whether it's the S&P, the SPY, or the Russell, or the Qs, and I'm always looking at that in relation to all the different sectors, and always trying to pay attention and remember, okay, what's been going up in the past week, couple weeks, month, what's been going down, and how is that changing?
Right.
Yeah, and Mike is the same way. Question from Singapore Larong in the chat is asking about Rivian, which is going to IPO next week, if memory serves.
They're targeting next week.
Targeting next week. We don't even know yet. All right. So, what do you think of the 100,000th EV IPO that we're going to have?
They are a real company. So they are. When you compare them to a RIDE or an FSR, these guys are out there. They're in production. They're producing cars. Amazon has a 20% stake, I think. Ford has a 6 or 8% stake. I don't remember which one it is. These guys are coming in production, delivering, and they're ready to rock. So unlike a lot of these other startups where they're trying to get going, like, for example, RIDE's run out of cash. I don't know how RIDE's ever going to get in production. They have no cash to finish their production lines. These guys will be ready to rock. They're a real company. They're going to get what did they say, a 60 billion valuation is what they're shooting for on launch day.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, 60 billion, but that's down from the initial 80 billion that was initially reported. So,
right. But it's huge. And I think they're going to be one of the winning companies. See how it trades, see where it opens. See how much they pump it. We always love to watch the IPOs. And that morning, the night before they announced their pricing, and that, you start paying attention and they say it's opening here. And it's all behind the scenes is the investment houses are calling up, just trying to rev up the price for their people who are in it. And you see these things open twice the price they're supposed to be IPOing at. And, the only people making money on that are the investors, the investment houses. That's not Rivian making any more money on it. They get their price and they're out. So I think they're good. I like Lucid. I think Lucid's another very good company in this space. They started delivering cars last week. Yes, it was just a few of them, but the point is they're in production. They're going. I'm leery of these guys like Nikola and FSR and RIDE. I think these companies are, they just have long-term problems. And again, Tesla, obviously the king here, but you got Ford and GM ramping up rapidly, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with shortly.
Yeah, I don't know if you looked at Ford, man. Have you seen Ford recently? Let's go pull up that Ford chart right now, because Ford and
1948.
You've basically never been able to say this in the last 20 years, but Ford stock right now is a monster.
Yep,
a monster. When is the last time we were at these levels? Let's go to a monthly. When is the last time we were here?
You gotta go.
I'm going way to the right. There we go. Okay, so 2002. Yep. 2001. September of 2001. Oh my gosh.
Now, what I would say here is, we were talking to my members today. I said I wouldn't be buying Ford up here. I would let it come in.
It is so hard. It's so hard though to resist the temptation when you've gone straight up the last 2 days. But more times than not, chasing it up here will be a mistake.
Well, you're probably, again, I just look very simple stuff. It's out of the Bollinger Bands. It's screaming hot. Since earnings, it's come from 1550 to 1950 roughly. That's a big move for Ford. On a stock like Ford, we're not talking a squeeze name, one of these little stocks. This is a big name with massive institutional ownership. So, I would look for a dip. If you get a dip to the 8-day and it holds it, I would try it there. The 8-day is currently at 1778. It's moving up drastically quick here. Maybe they reconnect somewhere around 1850, and then you can get into it there. But if you're buying stock, I wouldn't worry here. But if you're buying it with options, you don't want to chase with options, because they're a decaying asset, and if it yanks, it makes it harder to get your money back.
Yeah, it's a great point. Yeah, this is not going to be this is a different kind of stock, right? This is not an AMC. This is Ford. This
It's not elusive.
Right. That too. So let's see here. I'm just sort of catching up right now on my news of the day. I saw Penn. Is Penn still trading down?
Penn's getting mangled.
Okay, Penn is down, and it's not just they had earnings, but it's not just that, right? It's there was an article from Insider that attached some not so great sexual accusations to Barstool founder Dave Portnoy. This is the risk you take when you invest in a company that has a cult-like figurehead, and he is not the first, nor will he be the last, right? You think about Elon Musk and Tesla. You think about Steve Wynn at Wynn. You think about Papa John at Papa John's, right? I mean, a lot of companies, have these CEOs that are really more than that. In this case, Portnoy is not even the CEO anymore, and Penn is the parent company, but they have these executives, founders. They're more than that. They're part of the fabric. They're part of the story. And without them, what do you lose? And you're seeing that today in Penn. Potentially without Dave Portnoy, this is a glimpse into what that future looks like.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. But we also have to circle back to earnings. Earnings were really just not good. I mean, their revenue was down year over year. Their profits were down year over year. I'm sorry, their profits were down year over year, not their revenue. And there's a lot of competition coming into the space, right? Whether it's Skills or DraftKings or MGM or Wynn, everybody's getting in this online gambling. But Dave has been the figurehead, and now we joke around a lot. But I remember when going back into March, Dave was on Twitter pounding the table that buy this dip at 110 area. Penn will never see this price again. I'm like, yep, he's right. We've never seen that price again at this point. And you lose a spokesman like that, it's really, really tough here. It's really tough for a stock to recover. And you're seeing DraftKings, by the way, which reports tomorrow morning, they're getting butchered on this too. They're down to a new range low at 44.
Yeah, and again, we don't know anything about the Portnoy thing, and this is probably going to play out. But like you said, there's more to it than that, right? Because it's also the earnings that were not great, and that's like DraftKings, right? DraftKings, is not going to trade down on that type of a Portnoy headline from Penn. So the fact that DraftKings is down should give you an idea that this is more of an industry-wide trade today than anything specific to Penn. While we're on the topic, we also had MGM. And MGM earnings, and they're down today.
And they had good earnings, right?
Yeah.
They had a great report, and they're selling the Mirage, which to raise cash. Interesting to me, by the way, that although Vegas casinos, all the big guys are starting to sell their casinos. Either they want to take advantage of the real estate market, or they don't think Vegas is coming back like it used to be.
I don't know if I would buy MGM right now. You want to know why, Mike and Spencer?
Sure.
Do we have a choice?
No, I'm trying to think why. I'm trying to think why.
Because I think I might be going to the MGM casino after work today, and I might put them out of business.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Good luck with that, my man.
Yeah.
The last time we went to the casino with people from work, a colleague who shall remain nameless cost me $250, but he shall remain nameless, Alan. But anyway, hey, let's hop over to the chat and see what they're talking about here. This is a casual show. Let us know what's on your radar, and we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Because,
by the way, I'm watching NVIDIA here. Just hit 301.
Oh my God, NVIDIA, and so Mike, what do you think we're seeing this like huge move today? Because we saw a price target upgrade from Wells Fargo, I believe, but usually that's not enough to move a stock this big.
It's FOMO.
This much.
It's
FOMO. People are just rushing in and buying it.
It's been working right in this market. If they did it with Tesla, they've done it with AMD, they've done it with Microsoft, they're doing it with NVIDIA now.
But I don't think we've seen like Microsoft get picked up on Reddit and run more than 12% in a day. It's hard to I guess my theory, and that's all it is a theory. I have nothing to back this up, but I think maybe the interest in retail trading is causing algos then to pick it up, and then it causes other, it's like a compounding effect, if that makes sense.
And then it's, my room is reminding me here on my right, that is, being referred to as a meta play. And this goes back to the whole Facebook with the metaverse. And so I appreciate that, guys. Thanks out there. They're shouting out to me. But yeah, they're right. It's considered to be a big play in the metaverse and meta. I mean, let's be honest with you. Metaverse and Facebook, that's going to take years to develop and, whatever. But that's the new hot buzz. And anything associated with that right now is getting ramped.
Well, yeah. I mean,
is that true? Facebook is up 0.5% today.
Well,
say Meta is up 0.5% today.
But they're up. When they had horrific earnings horrific guidance, they have everything else in the world breaking down around them in terms of countries looking into them, the Senate looking into them. Like, everybody's out to get them right now. All this bad press, but you change your name and you say Meta, and the stock's well off the lows from earnings.
I've talked about it on this show before. I mean, NVIDIA is one of my favorite long-term stocks all time. I actually added it in my IRA at the beginning of this year in January, so about 10 months ago, and the position's already up more than 100%. And so this stock's just a monster. And I think I said it even earlier today. I think any transformative technology that you can think of over the next 10, 20 years, whether that's AI, robots, metaverse, cryptocurrency, gaming, NVIDIA will have a market share in all those industries. And so, I mean, to me, I'm not saying go out and buy NVIDIA right now and it's up 12% on a day, but on any dips, I'd be looking to add to my position and just holding forever. I don't intend to ever sell those NVIDIA shares that are in my IRA. I had 2 shares. Now I have 8 after the split.
Nice.
So I like having more shares. So
listen, I was trading NVIDIA back when it was 16 and under $20. It doesn't seem like that long ago. Yeah, pre-split.
Yeah, AMD too, of course, they tend to trade together, but I think NVIDIA has a little bit of an advantage as far as how just over AMD. I think NVIDIA's technology is a little bit more advanced than AMD's at this point, but I'm also not an expert.
But they're also in different spaces slightly.
Yeah. I mean,
they have some crossover, but really AMD is more about the servers and the CPUs. They do graphics card as well. They're not as good. And then NVIDIA is really about the graphics cards. And then they're also obviously in the server space.
Yeah. And I think the cloud, metaverse, I mean, all of those, technology advancements that we're going to see, like I said, NVIDIA will have their hands in, they'll be a player. What else? I'm trying to see if there's anything else in my portfolio moving today that we can talk about. Spencer and I talked about this the other day. I think Snapchat isn't being talked about as a meta play.
You know what? I meant to do something about that yesterday and I never did. So how are we doing today?
We're not doing well. I mean, if you want to, if when you say, Spencer, that you wanted to do something about it, you meant you wanted to go buy a few shares of Snapchat, you still have the opportunity. We're down about 1.75%.
I've been looking at Snap and trying to decide when it's a buy.
It's still in a downtrend.
Where did I say I would stop? I said I would stop myself at the low from May, right? Which was $49.90.
Yep.
$3 or $2 away. Mike, what do you think about this?
I'm having a hard time with this. I love Snap after not this report, the report beforehand when they gapped up. And then to me, it was interesting that it could never break out. Every time it tried to break out, they ramped it, they pulled it back in. I did not like how they blamed Apple for all their woes here. I mean, I think that was just a little bit too easy to do. Apple is costing us all our money. Apple's our big problem. Well, guess what? Google will probably do that eventually too if you're not paying attention. So then you're going to have even more problems. The fact that this stock can't bounce, and you look at the earnings day, and then since then we just keep drifting lower, it's worrisome. For me, I don't think I want to own this name until it can clear above the 8-day. Maybe if it takes that or get a rounding bottom, we start to form that cup. And maybe we're trying to do it here a little bit, but they don't want it here. They're just not coming back for it right now. And that's a little worrisome.
It's such a suspicious looking chart, like that cloud. You almost never see that.
Well, think about you have a very large island top. Right.
Yeah, it's so suspicious. It's like, what the hell? What happened?
And for people who don't understand that, an island top is when you gap up and then you leave all those candles, no matter how many, whether it's one or not, and you gap down, leaving anybody who was long up there trapped. And that's what happened here with Snap. You had 3 months worth of action of people trapped in this thing.
Yep, and it's one quarter. Oh yeah, Apple is not really affecting us. Their privacy change in the next quarter. Oh wait, actually, it's affecting us a lot.
Yep.
We just didn't realize that. So yeah. Anyway, I have to talk myself out of it because we're all inclined to be the hero and buy the dip and call the bottom, and so Mike just did that, I think. But I'm still interested. I'm not writing this off. I'm just not right now.
Yeah, my thesis that I gave the other day was just that, I mean, Snapchat already has kind of augmented reality built into it. I think as we see the metaverse develop, it would just shock me if we don't see Snapchat get involved in some way, and it's not really being talked about as a big metaverse play. So I think it's just one to have on your radar. I don't like the fact that it's still been in this downtrend after that huge gap down after earnings. We didn't see buyers come in and say, oh, hey, look, we're getting Snap at a discount. We've seen the downtrend continue. So I'm going to wait for a clear sign of reversal.
Compare it to Twilio, who had bad earnings, right? Pull up their chart.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I didn't look at Twilio. This was a beast, and it came well off of ties. How are we doing now?
Twilio had bad guidance.
That's very interesting. Look at these last few days. Wow.
So on earnings, they had very bad guidance. But look at how they bought this back up. And that's a huge difference between Snap and like a company like Twilio. For Twilio, they came back for it. They're like, nope, this is a discount. We want it. We're not seeing that. It's a very different type of reaction in Snap.
Right.
I mean, it's a different kind of company, too.
That's what I was saying. Is after a gap down like that, I want to see buyers coming in. I want to see that trend reverse quickly. If I don't, and we see that downtrend continue, then it's just showing like, look, this has come out of favor with investors of all types, and institutional, retail, etc. So I think we will get to a point with Snapchat where buyers start coming in and say, oh yeah, this is a good price for it. I just don't know if we're there yet.
They might wait until we get close to next quarter. Kind of like SoFi. If you watch SoFi after last quarter, they had a horrible report. And then about a month ago, they started running SoFi back up, and they brought it back up through where it was last earnings and above it. So sometimes if you watch how they trade these things, they'll wait a little bit. You see the big gap down from last earnings going back there into August. And they waited about 2 months, and now they pushed it all the way back up.
Wow, I knew we broke 20 on SoFi. I had no clue we got all the way up to 23.
The problem is last week we broke 21, and then you see what happened after. But yes, was that Thursday?
Yeah.
No, Monday. What day is that? Monday was a great day. Monday was a great day.
I might get a nice Christmas present this year. My mom opened a brokerage account and asked me what stocks to invest in. This was back in, I think, August after SoFi gap down after earnings, and it was at about $14 a share. And I told my mom, like, oh, hey, look, SoFi looks pretty cheap right now. And she added to it. So it's up about 50% since then.
That's the difference between you and me. If my mom asked me, I would have say, Mom, there's three letters, VOO. SPY. That's what I would have told my mom.
VTI as well. Yeah, that's
VTI, Mom.
That's a little easier.
VTI.
What's interesting? I've been helping some members who have they've ended up with 50, 60 plus stocks in their portfolio, and I'm like, you can't manage that. And I'm like, for me, there's a golden rule for me. You don't want more than 15 to 20 stocks at any given time, because you just cannot keep up with what's going on in them and being in them. So choose the stocks you want, and then use the ETFs, the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, the XLF for the financials, XLE. Use those to round out the sectors that you want to be in. But so many people, they get trapped and they keep buying these names because, they're in play. And then they get kind of stuck with them. And next thing you know, they have 50 names, and they're in these in small positions, but they don't know out with the news. They don't know what to do with them anymore, because they're really not tracking them, right? They may not know anything about the company. And there was news on Any this morning. It was kind of funny. And I'm not a crypto guy. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm not touching it, even though I saw the stock and calls coming in, the stock to start to take off. I'm like, sometimes you just say no if you don't understand the trade. If you don't know the company, it's okay to say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Nancy Reagan.
Just say no.
Mike, anything? Is that who that was?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That was before my time.
Spencer doesn't get my references.
I get your references.
I get it. Say no to drugs. Damn it, I'm old.
Fun fact, my mom worked in the Reagan administration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, true story. Anyway,
Mike, anything else you want to discuss or look at before we let you get back to it today?
I would encourage you guys out there, try to not have FOMO, especially with options right here with the market up this much. Wait for it to cool off. Wait for some of these names to pull in a little bit, then go into them. If you're buying stock, it's not a big deal. The stock goes down $2, it comes back $2, you're at break even. You're buying options and the stock drops $2 and then the stock comes back up, your options are going to be underwater. They're decaying, the delta's changing on you. So think a little bit more. And the last thing I will tell you, we talk about this in the room all the time, buy time, buy time, buy time. If you're in weeklies and the way these names chop around midday, you're probably getting chopped up. If you go out 30 to 45 days, you're going to have an easier time sitting in the trades longer term.
Got it. Well, everyone, hope you're out there taking some advice from Options Mike. Mike, where can folks find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Options Mike. I'm out there all the time, and I have all my information out there with it.
Easy enough.
All
it's
his
on
information.
the screen right there at Options
Yep.
Mike on Twitter. Mike, we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy yourselves.
All right. Have a
You
good
as
one,
well.
Mike. AB, I think we have one more guest to come, although I don't see her in the studio right now. So what I want to do before she joins is I put this call out yesterday or the other day to the chat, and I put a call out yesterday to AB, and I'm crowdsourcing, or we are crowdsourcing ideas for like fun shit that we could do on this show, right? Like stupid stuff, right? Like I put the call out for fun game ideas. We've got a list here. And
Wait,
AB,
what was Luke's? Luke's idea was pretty good, actually.
Luke, okay, and we're going to incorporate these. So Luke's idea was a name that chart segment.
Like name that Pokemon. So we'll put a chart up without the name of the stock, and you have to name what chart it is.
Yes. So we're going to be doing that, for example. We had a couple people suggest some sort of a dart game with balloons and the ticker in there, and that's what we have to talk about. Whatever we land on, that's something that we can do. But I'm interested in more games. So whatever you guys can think of, drop it in the chat. And I'm trying to figure out how to do the chart without having the company name on there. AB, this is going to take me a second to figure out, so we're not going to do that right now. But
no, we'll get it figured out. Let's see. Anyone? What is everyone watching in chat? Looks like Rich Kaiser's watching Sens. Spencer, can we get that pulled up real quick?
I took off my watermark. Sure, Sens.
Yeah, SENS.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Quiet today. Earnings on Tuesday after the close. I'm familiar with the stock. I am not familiar with the company. I don't know the story here. And because I don't know the story, I don't want to say anything because I don't know it. But if it were me and I were long, I would say if you've made money off this thing, I would consider lightening up into the report anytime before Tuesday at the close, right? And if you're down, if you bought this thing in February at $5 and you're down, I would even still consider selling into this because these earnings reports are so binary, right? You just don't know. The stock, I think, has a low float, right? It's not 431 million shares. So it's a thicker stock. It's got a decent short interest. It's got 23% of the shares are currently sold short. That's not nothing. That's not outrageous, but also that's not nothing either. So there is a decent amount of the market that's betting against the stock right now. I don't like holding stocks into earnings. That's just me.
On the flip side, Spencer, if you do have some dry powder, as the kids call it, some cash on the side, what you could do is wait for earnings if the stock gets crushed. And you still want to hold the stock, add some in, just lowering your average cost that you got in at.
You can do some options, trade around it, right?
Right. There's a lot of different strategies out there. I think, though, the one that you mentioned as far as cutting your losses, not being married to a stock, is one that I think a lot of traders, should consider. I actually did this recently with Fubo, and now I'm kicking myself for it because I finally sold my Fubo position. And then, of course, right after I did, Fubo just started ripping higher. Not having a great day today, but we can see it's up over 35% over the last month.
You know what's interesting? You know what happened today in Fubo, right?
No.
The sports book went live in Iowa.
Oh,
Their first
really?
sportsbook went live today.
We've talked about this before, Spencer. I think people that are into Fubo want to make that a bigger catalyst than it is, because it's so easy for me to be watching a game on, whatever it is, and be able to just bet off my phone. Like, I don't need it to be in the same place, but who knows? I still think Fubo, we'll have to keep it on our watch list. It goes all the way up. If you pull up the chart, what were the highs we reached? We got above 60, right?
Yeah, we did. Here, I'm gonna add the watermark back because I like it there. So 1 second, I'm gonna get the watermark back on. There we go. Yeah, it got up above 60 back in December last year. So
yeah, definitely going to keep our eyes on Fubo, see if that gambling integration helps the stock.
Well, I mentioned that though because it may be a sell the news type of thing, right? Where we're down today, the day we have the actual catalyst, we run up into.
I mean, how many people are even in Iowa?
That's the point, right? It's like how many people are actually in Iowa?
Yeah.
No offense if you're in Iowa.
No, Rodrigo, I agree. I mean, I've talked about it before. So Fubo, the thing that I like about it is they are trying to become the premier sports streaming service. And sports is the only thing that people will really watch live anymore. I mean, you've got, presidential debates, Bachelor, I guess. But advertisers will pay a premium for commercials during sporting events because they know people will actually be tuned in watching the commercials as opposed to, other shows on TV that people will just watch on Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is, and they're not actually paying attention to the commercials. Sports commercials are so much more valuable than everything else out there in the advertising world.
AB, I see our next guest here backstage, the blonde broker. Should we bring her on?
Let's go ahead and bring the blonde broker on.
This is the first time we're ever gonna have a broker on the show. There she is, the blonde broker. How we doing?
Good. How are y'all? Can you hear me pretty well?
We hear you.
Yeah.
We see you.
Got a nice pink headset. So the blonde broker. I don't know if
wait. First off, are you a real broker or is that just?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
So it's not our first broker that we've had on the show.
Oh, damn it.
Not first broker.
Still over in that category.
So you may be familiar with the blonde broker on Twitter. The handle is pretty self-explanatory at the blonde broker. Blonde broker, can you just tell our audience, give us a little background, tell us how you got interested in investing? What's your background? How'd you start, etc.
Yeah, of course. First off, I want to say I love y'all's setup. It's really nice.
It's new. It's actually new.
Is it really?
It's like it's like
Rohan, can we zoom out a little bit so we can see everything going on?
Rohan, pivot to the other camera, please. Is Rohan even there? Hey, look, there we are. Anyway, thank you for that. We'll pass our compliments to the chef.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll get started. Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know me, I'm the blonde broker. My real name's Aaron. I actually used to be Aaron Talk Stocks, but I kind of used the blonde broker as a new thing that it's kind of catchy. Everyone liked it. And some people are like, oh, well, you're not really a broker. And I'm like, well, Unusual Whales isn't really a whale. Love him, but sorry.
That's true.
But yeah, so I got into trading about 2.5 years ago.
Cool.
Started out with, I was kind of in a toxic situation in life, like relationship. I was just comparing myself to other girls and relationships online, looking on Instagram, Facebook, and I would just do that in bed at night. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? It's just bringing like negative connotations to my mindset. So I decided to start reading about the market, bought a ton of books on investing and trading, and basically stayed up every night doing that. And
wait, which books? I have to ask you which books you bought. And if you actually read any of them, because we all buy books and we don't read them.
So I like price volume analysis. Let's see. I've read the penny stocks for dummies. That's actually what got me hooked. I started trading OTCs really early on. OTCs and crypto. So it's evolved into large caps.
Oh man. Okay, wait. Can you just talk about how you avoided getting absolutely smoked? Because OTCs can be high reward, but extremely high risk if you don't know what you're doing. So how did you avoid just getting smoked on those things?
Right. So I did get smoked.
Okay, that answers that.
Yeah. So I think the reason my platform kind of started growing was in the OTCs, there was about 2 to 3 days where I made like $49,000 trading penny stocks, and people found out about it and it's like follow. And then honestly, like 3 days later, I probably lost like 37,000 of it. So you
Raise
win
your hand
some,
if you
you
raise
lose
your hand if
some.
you've been there. If you've been there, raise your hand. We've both been there, AB. Not maybe in that dollar amount, but same idea. You make money, give it back.
So yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to figure out which CEO is.
I think everyone that like starts investing goes through that process where they make a little bit of money and then they start feeling like they're playing with house money. It's okay to get a little riskier. And then next thing you know, you get burned. I know that happened to me. I started trading options actually like right before COVID hit. Like literally February of 2020, I like traded my first option, and then I was watching what was going on in the news, like world, everything. And I would turn on CNBC and they're like, oh, this coronavirus isn't coming to the US. Don't worry. Don't sell your stocks or anything. And then I see the news coming out of Italy and I'm just like, all right, this sounds like BS. Like, and bought some puts on some different companies and made like 10 grand really quickly. And then after I essentially lost that whole 10 grand very quickly, getting a little bit riskier with my options trading, and since have kind of learned how to allocate my risk a little bit better. At least I like to think so.
So okay, so after the OTC thing, and are you still in that, or are you mostly doing crypto now, or what?
So I kind of have a very, very, very diverse portfolio. I do all of it right now. I'm not married to one or the other. Crypto's kind of hot right now, so I've been playing a little bit of SHIB.
Do you wait real quick? Do you only do trading, or do you have like some long term stuff? Like, I'm never touching this. I'm giving this to my kids stuff.
No,
okay.
I should.
Okay.
I should. There's actually like probably 2 stocks that I'm holding long term. Palantir, and then I'm holding a Canadian stock called XTM. That's a penny stock I'll be holding long term. And you know what? There's actually a couple of them that I'm holding long term, but I'd say I'm a trader, active trader.
How do you find your trades? How do you find your setups? What sort of things do you look at? Are you looking at the company? You looking at the chart? A little bit of both?
I'm looking at the chart. I don't think I'm as much of a fundamental trader as I am technical. So I do stay up for pre-market. I go to sleep at like 4 a.m. every day, which is super unhealthy. So it's going to catch up to me.
What time zone are you in?
Central.
Okay. All right. You're an hour behind us.
Shout out Central Time Zone.
Cool.
Shout out. I think we have the best time zone. We get to hang out with everyone like Pacific and Eastern, like staying up.
I agree. So I'm from Missouri, which is in the Central Time Zone, and ever since I moved up here to Detroit, which is in the Eastern, like last night, the St. Louis Blues game started at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm like, how am I supposed to?
Yeah, man, it's past my bedtime already.
Exactly. Like, I can't even watch the first period.
So okay, so you're trading off the chart, but like the OTC markets, there's so many. There's like 100,000 at least companies that trade on there. How do you find them?
So
how do you find the ones that are interested in you.
I think OTCs is a little bit harder to trade based off if you're looking at charts. That one you are looking at the company, who's founded the company. For example, there's a stock called ENZC, Enzolytics. They are actually located. They've moved one of their labs to A&M, Texas A&M in College Station, and that's where I went to school. So.
This thing is trading for 0.0001 cent.
This is what we're talking about. It is very high risk.
Holy cow! You said penny stocks.
Wait, no. ENZC. Sorry.
Oh my gosh!
Not.
Wait, what?
I just looked at the chart.
ENDC.
ENZ.
Oh, Z. I can't hear.
As in Zillow.
Zebra.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, wait.
All right.
Can you hear me better?
13 cents. 13 cents. Okay, that's a little bit better than the other we were just looking at. Holy cow.
Yeah, so they have a very good I like their company. I think they have a lot of growth there. They're trying to fight HIV. They're working on a COVID cure for a long time. And I guess just being an Aggie, it kind of meant a lot to me to see something going on at my school.
So when you find let's say, so you find it, Enzolytics, right? ENZZ.
Mm-hmm.
What is your process next? Do you always go in with the same size? Talk us through like that.
So when I started, I was not scaling in. I didn't know that technique yet, so I got burned pretty fast. But now if I like a stock or I like an OTC, I'll probably put a good like 30% entry level in, what I think is great, and I'll watch for the dip throughout the week, and then I'll load in more. But for the longest time, this stock was my whole port, and I was in it when it ran up to like 90 cents.
And did you sell at 90 up there?
I sold a good amount.
Okay, nice. Do you plan your exits ahead of time as well? Are you always thinking like, hey, like if I buy right now at 13 and it goes down to 10 or 8, I'm done, or if it goes up to 30, I'm done, you know?
Yeah, I try to stick to like a 15% loss rule.
Nice. Okay.
I know a lot of people are a little bit more conservative, might be at 10%, but I play a little riskier, I think. So
nice.
About
15%. You mentioned how you have gotten into crypto as well, and I know that you're into NFTs as well. So what was the process like, I guess, from getting from crypto into NFTs, and what's kind of going on with your NFTs right now?
Yeah, so I think people have been into crypto for a while now. I remember in college, everyone was talking about Bitcoin, and it was kind of hush hush, like here's this new thing. Sounded like it was on the black market and illegal, like we couldn't talk about it. Little did we know, if you would have invested in Bitcoin 8 years ago, you would be insanely well off. So I missed that boat. I got into crypto about 2.5 years ago with Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's kind of going with the larger players. And then I am newer to the NFT community. For the past 4 months, I have been actively buying and selling NFTs. And then
how's that going for you? Because that market is insane.
So I don't necessarily I'm not a flipper. I kind of invest in them, and then I'll sell them if someone really, really, really wants it. It's very difficult to find a project that, has a very good meaning behind it and a good community to support it. Because if you do buy an NFT that everyone is excited about, it could fall. Like the floor price of an NFT might run up to 9 Ethereum, and then you find out they didn't have a roadmap. They were just trying to make a bunch of money. The floor price has dropped down to like 0.7 ETH, and you just get burned. Same thing with stocks. So I think it's really important to do your DD on NFT collections.
You see because I know different crypto projects have a strong community and a strong following, but I think even more so for NFTs, it seems like different NFT projects is so like community oriented. Have you found that since you've ventured into NFTs?
Yes, so a lot of the NFT communities have their own Discord servers, so those have been really fun to join and see who's in them. It's kind of like a little family. It really is a community of people who are getting to know each other online. So for my collection, I've already started. I created a Discord server for everybody to join. Do y'all want me to talk about the collection for a second?
Yeah,
I would love to know what goes into that.
Yeah, of course. So I'm doing an NFT collection.
And you can actually share your screen on the bottom of your screen on our platform. You can see that little share button if you want to share something. Otherwise, we can pull it up as well.
Y'all could pull up the account on Twitter if you want.
What's the Twitter handle?
I have it up, man. See, I did your job.
Y'all are fast.
Spencer's better than me. So.
I did your job for you, AB. I got you. Hold on. I got you. Unique unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Whoops. There we go. So these are just pictures of unicorns? Is that it?
Yeah, so they're PFPs of unicorns right now, but I'm actually doing a lot with it. So when I was buying NFTs, I saw the Bored Ape project, I saw the Lazy Lions project, and I noticed that animals were kind of a big deal at the time, and I'm a huge animal advocate. So this NFT project that I'm coming out with in the next 2 to 3 weeks basically supports the fight for mental health. So we're just really trying to team up with a charity, the National Alliance on Mental Health. Been talking to them about a lot of the proceeds for this collection going over and helping certain families that, you know, are really struggling with psychology and mental health issues. So the message behind these NFTs is being unique and accepting who you truly are.
So forgive me for asking this question because I may be just a boomer at heart, but I really like don't understand the NFT.
Come on, Spencer.
Thing.
You've had
I'm
so
sorry.
much
I'm
time
sorry.
to learn about NFTs.
No, you're right. But like, no. What I mean is like, I literally don't understand like the market here. Like people are just buying them because they're limited and they're gonna. And you said you don't flip, but I could do that to your collection, right? I could just, you know.
You could, and then I'd come after you.
Well, I don't even know how to get on. I don't even know how to get on it. So let's everyone calm down. Yeah. So like, I don't like. What is the market here? I just don't quite know if I understand that.
You know, so sadly, well, the stock market, a lot of it is based off of hype, but there are a lot of collections that people want to hold on to long term that have sentimental value. So I know a lot of people are, you know, this all started with like baseball cards.
Right.
Essentially, like if you've got a baseball card and I want it, I'll give you $1 million. I get that asset, but then my house burns down in a fire and now I no longer have that asset. But once it's put up in the blockchain, I'll hold it forever. So I think people are looking at it in that point of view. And it is very, very hard to understand. I think it's same thing with crypto. You can't hold it. So
yeah,
it's different. But my NFT project, when I release the roadmap, in the Discord, there's going to be a channel called a safe space. So it'll be for people who want to talk about their mental struggles that they're dealing with and meet new friends. It's a safe space for them to go do that and to meet friends. And about every month, I'm going to have a counselor come on and do a live session and help out anyone who needs it.
So yeah, awesome. I asked that about the NFTs because that's what I think one of the coolest things about it is it seems like all these NFT projects do have very immersive and interesting communities. And I'm curious from like an investor trader standpoint, if you think that's like a viable way to find NFT projects to invest in, like maybe just hop in the Discord server, do some quick analysis on like how you think the community is it engaging? Is there a lot of interaction? And then from there say like, oh yeah, this NFT project had like a way bigger community that was very engaging compared to this other one. So I'm going to invest in the one that has the bigger community.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So I think Discords is a great way to see if you actually do like the community and figure out what it's about. I know there's a website called Rarity Tools you can use to see upcoming collections and look at the volume on that. I mean, some of these collections might not even have been released, but it is very important if you are buying an NFT to make sure that they are verified on OpenSea. Like, you just want to make sure that that collection is pure.
We're getting a couple comments in the chat that the Discord link on the Twitter is didn't go to a Discord page. Just FYI.
Oh, okay. I'll fix that.
Okay. We'll get that fixed. All right. Well, Aaron, thank you for joining us on the stream today. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add or discuss.
Can you leave us with like one stock tip that you're bullish on?
Stocks always go up. No, I'm just kidding. My one stock tip for you guys is do not feed into FOMO. That is how you lose your port. That is how you destroy everything that you've worked so hard to get. So really just fight that urge to jump into something that everyone else is hyping up or running. Twitter is a good resource, but sometimes Twitter can be very detrimental to your account. So don't feed into FOMO.
There you go, y'all. Do not feed into FOMO. She's basically saying don't go out there and buy NVIDIA today while it's up 13% just because you're not into it.
Too late for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe don't.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
The Blonde Broker, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you, Aaron, in person. Spencer, hopefully I get to meet you soon.
Yeah.
Oh wait, were you at the thing also that I wasn't?
Yeah.
I wasn't invited. I've been at this company for almost 7 years now. I don't know. I was not invited. He's been here for a year. They sent him down to freaking Orlando to go to some fun conference, and I get stuck.
It was
here.
fun because Erin was the only other Erin there, but she was the cooler Erin at the conference. But yeah, it was nice to meet you. We will get you hopefully back on the stream again soon.
Yeah, I would love to. Also, Spencer, we're going to do another conference, I think, in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Erin put a lot of work into actually like organizing the conference with Jonah Lupton.
Wait. Was this in like early? It was in early October, right? Because Shelly's saying I had COVID, which is maybe true. Maybe why else?
I think it was right before.
Was it right before I had COVID?
I mean, it was essentially a month ago.
Oh, I think I had COVID. So, okay. I'm not mad anymore. Next time, I want to go.
Yes.
All right.
You get VIP.
What
All right.
You said Vegas is the next one?
Yeah, I think we're doing Vegas in late April, early May. I'll send you like the link and stuff. But
boom.
Yep.
Awesome.
It'll be a great time.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Have a good one.
Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
No problem.
It is 1:56. We just spent the last few minutes talking about NFTs, and what's that? Our NFT show is coming up next. What are the odds?
What a segue.
What a segue. The roadmap live in 4 minutes right here, youtube.com/Benzinga. They're live today's Thursday.
Is it Moon or Bust?
Wait a minute.
No.
No, it's roadmap. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm screwing myself. Yeah. Moon or Bust is Mondays and Fridays. Roadmap is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm almost messing that up. But roadmap live in 4 minutes right now. Thank you, Sophia. I'll take my glasses off.
Oh God.
You know what? I started doing contact lens Fridays, and I just stopped doing that. Maybe I gotta start wearing.
Yeah, get the contact lenses back out.
Okay.
And roadmap episode today looks pretty interesting. They're going to be talking about
that show is weird in the best way.
They're talking about Kylie Jenner today, so I may need to tune in. I don't know if she will be making a surprise appearance. Tiny Pie Media, make AB's shirt green again. I'll bring the green shirt back out. It's very polarizing. People either hate it or love it. I love it. It always it brings out green in my portfolio as well. That's
fair.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, I think we're just about done here. So if you could be so kind as to hit that like button, we'd appreciate that. Please remember all the information from our show. I just realized that the light was green there for a moment below the desk.
Oh, it changes. Look, it's green.
Look, it's green now. Let's keep it green if we can, because that would bring out the green in my eyes and our portfolios. Please remember all the information from our show meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Thanks to all of our guests today, the Blonde Broker. Thanks to Options Mike. Thanks to Vivi Biotech. Thanks to Matt Kolb. Special guest, guys. Matt Kolb was like Benzinga employee number 15 or something, way back in the day. We will have to get him back on and tell the story about how he met Jason at an airport, because it's a good story. He was at Benzinga early days, before we were in this office, and long before me, long before you. And it's cool to see him. He moved away, so it was great to see Matt today. Yep. I love that. All right. I think we're at time, man.
Yeah, with that, Spencer, everyone, please smash the like. Smash the like for Spencer. Spencer went straight from doing a pre-market prep, all access, then he hops on here.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer is the Cal Ripken Jr. of streaming, absolute Iron Man. So if you're not going to smash the like for any of our guests today, smash the like for Spencer. With that, let's go ahead and get over to the roadmap.